Okay, thank you, Santosh, for this very interesting topic, solve the unsolved. I don't think so. We have all the answers for all these
Not yet,
questions you
sir.
have asked.
Not
You
yet.
see,
So we can.
so VEGF, there may be some repetition because I don't know what already has been covered. This gentleman isolated VEGF for the first time, Napoleon Ferreira. He was actually gynecologist. So VEGF is required for normal physiological purposes also, but it's also involved in pathology of all these tumors as well as new vessel formation, and is the main culprit which has been studied. Hence the role of all these anti-VEGFs. Actually, we are all lucky that there's a rain of anti-VEGFs, so many. So I've tried to list it on the left side, the anti-VEGFs, which I call first generation, and on the right side is the second generation antibiotics, because these promise more durability, more drying, and maybe cost effectiveness also. And in between, you see a huge chunk of biosimilars. And in fact, India today has 9 biosimilars which are being marketed. US also has approved biosimilars now. So are these left side dead or what? But believe me, today patient does a lot of homework because he has already been to so many doctors and he has read so much, he is well aware. So a lot of my patients today ask about faricimab, sir, why are you not giving faricimab and all these things. But we have to, be anti-VEGFs, I think, was an accidental this thing by Philip Rosenfield when he, injected Avastin for some other condition and we had resolution of. So anti-VEGFs have revolutionized the management. And you see in all conferences so many presentations. So Macugen, I think, came, but it went out primarily because the results were similar with PDT. It did not do much good. But in came this Lucentis, Avastin, Eylea, although not approved Avastin, but still Avastin, believe me, 67% of US still gives Avastin because it's the most cost-effective molecule. The purpose of any treatment for any disease wherever this anti-VEGFs are indicated, this treatment should be effective. First, it should be actually safe. You see, I view safety more than effectivity. We should not do any harm because that is what Hippocrates' oath is. Secondly, it should be effective. Thirdly, it should have long-lasting value. Otherwise, masses can't afford this. Unless there is an insurance component to it, masses can't afford it. You see, every 1 month, patient can't come with their relatives, with their family, taking day off, then consultation fee, then OCT, then injection fee. Again, after 4 weeks, again, the same story. So, and this goes on and on. Because primarily, we are not treating the disease. We can't treat CNVM. We just treat the manifestation of that. We treat edema or neovascularization, but this will not go away. This will keep recurring. So in CNVM, this is where anti-VEGFs have limitations. No doubt, there's no doubt today, all of us are blessed that we have so good injections. But problem is, they work for some time, come back again and again. It's just like, keep injecting. Lage raho munna bhai wali baat hai. Keep giving. And believe me, patient starts doubting your integrity sometimes. Patients have told me sometimes, Dr. Saab, every month you call me, har baar. My relatives also, they started, har mahine lagega, kitna lagega? So that is what pinches this thing. And today, believe me, interval injections have become, honestly speaking, I don't shy away from saying, one of the main sources of income for doctors. And people keep giving injections, whatever they see in the macula, with no disregard to anybody, whether anterior segment surgeon or posterior segment surgeons. You see these 4 indications I have listed from my own library, they have received interval injections. This right one is a macular pucker. In between you have a macular hole. Here you have a probable diagnosis of PCV. Here this is a scar. But people will keep giving injections. अरे एक लगवा लो कोई बात नहीं, एक तो लगा ही लेते हैं, सब लोग ही लगा देते हैं. So without any logic or scientific reason also sometimes, any macular lesion. So I know of a gentleman, ophthalmologist in Delhi, uske maternal uncle, he gave 2-3 injections. But that patient was suffering from macular hole and then referred for surgery. So that is the drawback of fast, quick earning. So it is Avastin camps, a lot of people hold one vial, they will hold and fit next center, keep transporting vials from here to there. Because money is the main concern. Vial is transported, method of preparation is not standardized. Unlike US, where these standard aliquoting pharmacies are there. But in this country, there are not multiple pricks. People give Avastin is kept in refrigerator. So one institution I saw, it was labeled as Avastin refrigerator. बाहर लिखा होता label, Avastin refrigerator. So their Avastin is kept for weeks and months. So for many, believe me, if you give one injection, patient will have some response. And for many, any regime is okay. Whether 4 weeks, 6 weeks, patient will not come, whether they know the disease, CNVM, whether they know diabetic retinopathy or not, they will keep giving injections. So that is the sad story of anti-VEGFs. Sad part is the last line, therefore I have very honestly written here, more than science, it is the money game. Problem is further compounded because suppose he has given an injection and patient is getting benefit. Believe me, this patient will become a slave. Whatever he says, patient will keep doing. So, and who is gaining is the pharma companies. All these big pharma companies, you see the global sales of anti-VEGF, if you see, it runs into billions and billions of dollars. But Santosh would ask questions, what is the expectation? Believe me, patient today Googles everything. Patient today is restless because most of these are middle-aged or elderly people. They want improvement in vision. They do not want to visit you repeatedly also, by every 4 weeks or 6 weeks. And this gives them stress also. A lot of patients are under severe anxiety, depression because of these reasons, multiple visits. Cost also pinches. People are insured, like in US, more than 80%, 90% market is insurance. In our country, insurance is around 20-25%. Most of people have to pay from their own pocket. So cost also starts hurting them. So therefore, pharma companies come with freebies, 2+1 scheme, 1+2 scheme. So many schemes are floating around. The only thing a patient keeps succumbing to you every time. You see, I have one lady, 94-year-old lady, his son brings a chair, son loses the revenue also, and lady comes. She just has vision of finger around 3 meters, one-eyed only. So if she loses slightly, she'll come again. The reason is fear of losing vision. They don't want to become absolutely zero. Because in that age, what do they want? She was a principal actually. They just want to read something. They just want to sign checks. वो डॉक्टर साहब 500 का नोट नहीं पता लगता है 500 का या 100 का है दे जस्ट वांट दैट काइंड ऑफ एंड वन पेशेंट टोल्ड मी मैंने कहा कैसा लग रहा है तो इसे डॉक्टर साहब अपना चेहरा दिखा दो अपने तो वी कांट यू सी दैट इज द पार्ट व्हिच डायलॉग्स व्हिच वी कीप हियरिंग and as I said there are two types of patients in practice. One is covered by insurance, other are you have to pay from their pocket. For insurance it does not matter because somebody else is paying, but you see all these schemes which have been floated around, they do not cover. Patient does not want to pay or they may exhaust insurance, especially if the vision is not improving. Believe me, all our patients of anti-VEGF do not improve. So statistically speaking, what I tell patients is 80% chances are you will maintain your vision, 40% chances are you will improve in vision, but 10-20% chances you may not improve at all. Yes. This is the realistic expectation. You see, we are not gods that we give injection, everybody will improve. So I can't pinpoint also. But the earlier the treatment, better the chance. Regular the follow-up, more the chance. Better compliance, more the chance. So therefore, this second generation anti-VEGFs may ultimately rule because the duration of action there is around 8 to 12 to 16 weeks, provided they have initially, given the loading dose. So some patients will come and tell me, Dr. Sahab, wo beta bahar gaya hua bachcha, and once he comes, I'll come. So that you can't, because these diseases are not forgiving that you can come anytime and treat. Some people will wait for permission from CGHS and then get treatment done. Even doctors, they will keep waiting. So patient expectation have risen because of this revolutionary drugs, but realistically, you have to talk to them. So what I do is at the first meeting with any new patient, so you have to spend at least half an hour, 45 minutes. So I'll ask them to wait in the basement. We have a fundus camera, we have an enlarged view. So discuss with them, this is the lesion, this is the retina, normal retina aisa hai, aapka ye lesion hai, and it will take more number of injection. Give them a realistic this thing. If you give them beyond this thing, acha ho jayega, then your practice only will go down because you are not giving them a realistic expectation. Biosimilars came with a very big hope that they will lead to reduction in the cost. But believe me, I have this thing in saying that biosimilars have not lived up to their expectation. The reason being the MRP of biosimilars is 17,000 to 18,000 rupees. And if you add OT cost, surgeon cost, it comes out to 25, 26,000 bucks, which is not acceptable at all. So I keep arguing with these companies, you reduce the MRP because you give to the doctor at a much lower price, but MRP return is 18,000 rupees. So ultimately cost to the patient is actually more than the eccentrics also. So I've calculated all the yearly cost. Today cost of innovator, that is eccentrics, is lower than the cost of primarily because MRP return down is 18,000 rupees. So one injection, you give one injection, actually doctor is making huge amount of money in that. So number of injections, as I said, it's a treatment, it's not a one-time treatment. We are not treating the disease, we are treating only the effect of disease. And this we know that more the number of injections, more the response. As I said, the main source of anxiety is fear of going blind because of this injections. Some patients are afraid also. And depression levels are very high in patients who receive multiple injections. So patients also prioritize their treatment, often sacrificing family, travel, social commitments because they don't want to lose their eyesight. And treatment protocol imposes significant burden. So therefore, we have to inform them of the strategies. How can we please have a sympathetic attitude towards them, explain the entire disease. Like I tell them about diabetes, that is a systemic problem. If you don't control this, I can't keep giving injections. You have to first control your weight, subse important. Weight and those 5 things, hemoglobin, glycemia, kidney parameters, lipid levels. So all these things you have to control. And also don't forget sleep apnea and so many other things are there which can lessen this burden. This is my last slide. So we tell them our aim is to stabilize your vision so that you will have reasonably good seeing life all through your life. So this is what we have to tell. We can't expect 6/6 in every patient. So you have to stabilize. As I said, stabilization does occur if you follow a protocol to in around 80%. 10 to 20% still continue to deteriorate, not because of your fault, but the disease is such. Therefore, talking to the patient and relatives is very important. Show them photographs, normal response. Some patients may not agree, so you have to say, isko diya tha to response acha hai. But show them data also. Be realistic, don't give them very high hopes. Also tell this is the only treatment. This is the only treatment available on the earth that you can try. Don't scare them too much also, otherwise they will fall prey to Baba Ramdev and other protocols where they will have some churn and hope for the best. This also you have to take care. Otherwise he may not take treatment. And answer all his queries. After you have done your all buck, give him chance. What do you want to know? What do you want? Because if you don't do that, then patient may not agree to your treatment. So that's all I had to share with you.
Thank you, sir. For actually, this we wanted to meet the real expectation of the patient. We are discussing about approval versus money, but the money was for the patient. You added one more aspect: money to the doctors. Yeah. That was more important, and definitely all the points need to be very critically taken by us. You have to allow the patient to ask questions.
Yes.
That is the most important part of it. Thank you, sir, for being here. Actually, this is a never-ending topic we are going on discussing. Thank you. I'm seeing a good number of audience for this also. I'm happy. Thank you all audience, and we can have a photograph at the end. Sir, please join us for the photograph. Any questions are welcome. Sir is here.
Any questions from anybody else?
Yeah, please. Can you come to the microphone? We are not able to hear.
She's asking central vein occlusion, mild edema, and hemorrhage over the... It all depends on the thickness of OCT, because in BRVO you can, but CRVO normally we don't. Because BRVO is a milder disease. See, if I tell my patients, agar aankh mein mujhe kuch hona to BRVO main karwa lunga apni aankh mein, CRVO nahi karwaye. Because CRVO, you see, most of the times it's not a forgiving disease. But mild, you have to define. If the thickness is say 280 or 300, so I would like to treat any CRVO. Yeah, that you are right, because you can't quantify how much hemorrhage is contributing and how much edema is contributing. So you are right, if there is a big hemorrhage on the fovea itself, then you may wait for some time. but you never know how much time will this hemorrhage take to clear also. So I would go if the thickness is, if the OCT thickness is say
Yeah.
more than 300, 350, I would like to inject. Because actually you can modulate the course of this disease also by injections. So early injections are important. So, but you pose a challenge. Yeah,
But I think OCT gives a good clue.
yeah, OCT is important. Yeah, I think then if there's a big chunk of hemorrhage, then you may call the patient after say 3-4 weeks again. Yes, sir.
Madam, one question for you regarding switching. Like a patient has taken 3 injections, has very good response, but the edema recurs maybe around 3 to 6 months later. Do we need to switch or can we continue with the same molecule?
The edema has come back again?
Yeah, after 3 to 6 months.
You're talking about diabetic macular edema?
Yeah, any or CNVM also. In CNVM
In
also.
diabetic macular edema, if there is a good response, the edema has come back, you can still go with the same drug.
Then no need to change.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
If
And
the patient, that means the patient is responding to
Responding.
your treatment.
fine.
Any question? Any more question?
No, I agree with Sanghamitra that if the patient has responded in the past, I will also go ahead with the same. There's no need to change, unless patient is from very far off distance, and sometime patient may ask for longer acting because he may not be able to come frequently. Because one of my patient physician, he asked for it also. It's difficult to come because he has to travel from Kashmir to Delhi.
Yeah.
Despite my telling him get the injection done there, he still comes. So you don't want him to come every 4 weeks with taking a flight along with his nurse wife, and so that may add up to the cost. So in such situations, sometimes I may shift also.
That's longer acting injections.
No, in diabetic, I may shift to Ozurdex. in
Yes,
fact.
yes.
Ozurdex does give a response for at least 3.5 months.
If there is no other questions, we'll conclude this session with thanks to the audience and we'll have a photograph. Thank you.